everyone. For those of you who do not know, my name is Kara Bradley. I was born in Shanghai and adopted at age 1 by white parents. I grew up in the small town of Sutton, Massachusetts with a racial makeup of 98% white. Growing up, I was surrounded by people who looked the same, no sense of diversity whatsoever. This semester, I had the amazing opportunity to move to Allston and intern with Break Time Boston. Harvard undergraduates Tony Hsu and Connor Schoen met while working at the Y2Y at Harvard Square. After they talked with guests at the shelter, they learned about many barriers young adults experiencing homelessness face related to job access, experience, and flexibility that made it difficult for them to find and maintain a stable job. Once Break Time Cafe is open and running, they plan to employ up to 15 homeless youth. Throughout my semester, I have learned and experienced more than I ever could have imagined. One experience that stuck out to me more than others. The morning of February 21st, I was sitting in the Smith Campus Center, which is a public space located at Harvard University. My mentor, Connor, attends there, so it was much more convenient to work there on most days. Just as Connor, my co-fellow Alexa, and I were getting up to move for the day, we heard a commotion going on next to us. A white Harvard police officer started running towards a black man in his early 20s. The black man, later identified to be Tyreek Simmons, did not appear to be doing anything wrong at the moment. The officer was screaming, yelling things like, "Put your hands where I can see them and get on the ground." Once the officer violently forced Tyreek to the ground, he kept repeating as calmly as possible, "What did I do?" But the officer wouldn't answer. He just threatened to use pepper spray as 3 more cops surrounded Tyreek and held him down. Coming from a small white town, I'd never seen something as scary as this. I remember standing there in shock, feeling helpless when it happened, and calling my parents, crying so hard on the bus ride home. I hope none of you listening had to witness racism like I did firsthand. But if you do, I encourage you to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. Later that week, I spoke out against the Harvard cop who performed these acts on an interview on the Harvard Crimson. A quote from myself, taken directly from the article, states, "I was basically doing the same thing he was, but the officer went at him," she said. "Why didn't he come at me? What's the difference?" A woman of color who I greatly look up to told me this after I called her looking for support. Now that your eyes are open, don't ever close them. After hearing my story, I encourage you to do the same. Thank you.